Tammy and Tony said, we are on the scenic stretch.
They left this yesterday.
They left Florida yesterday.
Yesterday morning.
Oh my God, what did you do there? Where was that taken?
And
Listen.
let me finish this. We are on the scenic stretch. It is snowing lightly, and I am not thinking very good words.
Jeannie, will you give me a nap?
Isn't that?
That's from Tammy.
Isn't that something?
It's snowing what?
Lightly.
That is sad.
Snowing lightly. It's getting
You were
ridiculous.
going to sit there, weren't you?
No, sweetie, I was looking for you.
You sure?
Yeah.
Well, there's another chair.
Dad, I want to hear something.
Okay. Okay.
I never heard this story, but I heard a story once
I don't know.
that you were pulling a car home, and the car you were pulling it with didn't run too well.
Oh, that was that was when he was going to the auction,
So you had to run the car
and you had that
behind you.
Corvair pickup and the Volkswagen behind it on a tow bar.
Remember
You
him
want to
telling-
start to the finish?
I do.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I took
telling me
off
about
to
that.
go to the Flint Auto Auction because I took the car,
The Corvair
the Corvair van
pickup,
from Smith,
Uh-huh.
the restaurant owner.
Sonny Smith.
Right,
Sonny
right.
Smith.
Mhm.
I took it in and it ran so terrible, that's why he wanted to get rid of it. And I sold him another van. However, what am I going to do with it? I can't overhaul the damn thing because the Corvair at that point in time had, well, what would happen is they get too hot.
Yeah, they were air cooled.
Well, you get too hot and the pistons were shot. So I knew it was going to be expensive. So I thought, and it would run. So what I done one morning, and I told your mother, I'm going to Flint Auto Auction in the morning. I'm going to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I am going to take this Corvair I took from Sonny Smith and take it to the Flint Auto Auction.
Yeah, but you had a Volkswagen behind
No,
it.
wait a minute. Hold it. I'm going to start from the start.
Okay,
What's the story?
okay.
So I got up, started that damn Volkswagen. It ran so bad, it run so poorly, it couldn't make the hill going to the state hospital.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I still got to get this to the sale.
All the way to Flint.
Yeah.
I still got to get this
Yeah.
to the sale. So what am I going to do? I got a Volkswagen that I don't need. It's almost brand new. I'll hook a tow bar in that son of a bitch, and I'll put it behind that van, the Corvair van,
Behind it.
behind
on,
it
on a tow bar.
on a tow bar. Anchor bumpers, anchor bumpers.
Yeah.
Now here's the Volkswagen.
Okay.
And I'll start that Volkswagen up and run the throttle about 3/4. And turn the key on. And when I go ahead, that motor will start of that Volkswagen.
Roll over when you move forward.
And it'll start.
So now I got a push, I can make the hill.
Well, what happens though when you want to stop? That motor's revving up.
The Volkswagen didn't have enough power to hold the brakes of the car, of the
See,
vehicle.
it's a stick shift Volkswagen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you come up to a stop sign and hit the brakes.
It was in high
Volkswagen
gear.
stalls.
Oh, it would stall because
Just
it's
like
in
not
fourth
stepping
gear.
on the clutch,
There you
see?
go, because it's in fourth
And
gear.
it just
Okay.
stalls.
So it is like, ee. Okay.
No, it isn't.
Okay.
And then when you go again,
It's starting.
it start back up. It was a hell of a good
That's
idea.
exactly
Good
what
idea,
happened.
Dad.
So I drove it to the Straits of Mackinac. I don't think the bridge was in yet. I'm not
Probably ferry then.
Yeah, and I drove it on. And,
Well, tell them when you got to Gaylord to get gas.
well, I know. I always stopped at the Standard Station, and he used to be a Newberry person. And I always stopped there to get fuel. And I stopped there, and he said, Ray, that damn Volkswagen is hotter than the son of a bitch.
And you're towing it. He thinks you're towing it. Why should it be hot?
He said, why should it be hot? Well, I told him the story. I said it's pushing that Volkswagen of that Corvair because they don't have enough power to climb the hills. Oh, well, he said, you want that gassed up too? I said, fill her up.
So that you took it all the way to Flint, Dad, or?
There's a
More?
lot of things to the story.
Okay.
But from Gaylord, and I went to Clare.
Yeah, see, 75 wasn't
Wasn't built yet.
all the way then.
Oh, really?
No.
No,
Was
10
it 23?
So
You
I
had
had
to
to
go, you had to
go-
go down
I had to go-
10 for a ways.
I had to go to Clare and then go over the
And then
10.
go to Bay City from Clare.
Uh-huh.
So, I said to myself, well, God, what am I going to do if it's icy? And I said,
Ooh.
well, I'll cover that when I get there. So I took off. And everything worked. Motor started, up in hills, down hills, up in hills. Yet I was doing great. I get into Clare, the goddamn roads turn right into a skating rink.
Oh. Are you by yourself, Dad?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I said, well, I got to get to the hill.
I've got to get
There's only one goddamn way I'm going to get there, and that's go. Way I went down 10,
Yeah,
and
then
I'm
you come out
heading,
at Bay
and I'm
City.
heading for Bay City. And here's this is going like this, and this woo, woo. This
Now the
goddamn-
Volkswagen is
and this
fish
goddamn
tailing.
Volkswagen is trying to pass me.
So you were really fighting that steering
I was
wheel.
fighting.
Yeah.
So, I get down to, did I get the end part?
Well, 10, you'd leave Clare, you'd come out at Bay City, then
Yeah.
you'd be on 75.
Then I'd be on 75.
Okay.
That's right.
There was that one stretch in between there.
And there was no 475 then either.
No.
I had to go down
Don't you go down to
Bristol Road.
Bristol and Dort?
Yeah. So I maneuvered it back to the sale, and it's now about 9:30, 10 o'clock. I'm plenty early enough. The sale didn't start till 11. And I had it pre-registered. All I had to do is go in
Come
and
sit down with us.
all I had to do is go in and sign the title and whatever you do then. So I get there, and the first son of a bitching thing that happened, they wanted to buy that Volkswagen.
No.
Well, I
And not the
And not the
Corvair.
Corvair.
And you didn't want to drive that home.
Because you couldn't.
well, shit, I couldn't get it home.
Your Volkswagen was your power.
So what happened? One of my buddies, I don't know who it was, said, "Ray, what are you doing here? What did you bring down?"
Quit picking.
I said, "I brought a Volkswagen that pushed a Corvair wagon down here." Pushed? I said, "Yeah." And I told him the story. He said, "God damn it, we'll get rid of that Chevrolet."
That Corvair.
Yeah.
What?
You
You went
got
through
to.
that kind of trouble.
So I ran it through, and the son bitch didn't bring. It brought me more, about $100 more than I figured I wanted for it. I only needed like $200-300
Well,
for
shit, back then you could buy a brand new car for $3 grand.
it. So anyway,
Did you sell the Volkswagen too?
and the Volkswagen.
When'd you get home?
I bought a car and went home.
Oh,
Bought a car.
Anyway, I don't think there's anybody. I don't think there's anybody that would do that.
I agree.
Oh, I
agree.
Who in the hell would have thought of it?
I agree. Welding gas tanks with the gas still in one tank.
Oh, remember we used to pump
And
carbon
you had to
monoxide?
pump the carb. So tell me how you did that, because that's not safe. That's not possible.
To weld a gas tank, and we take that
You
tube
took the
and put
carbon
on
monoxide.
that.
a
So,
tailpipe of a...
would you
You're-
please tell me the chemistry of that,
All right.
finish to end, beginning to end?
Now this goes back to my young days. A gasoline tank
Yes.
even with gas in it, cannot burn unless it has oxygen.
That's
Okay,
correct.
correct.
The only way I can get rid of the carbon dioxide, which is not oxygen, is run a hose from my tailpipe
From
To
another
the-
car.
from another car, start it up,
Okay.
run it on the tank, and let that sit there for 3-4 minutes. I did all the welding I want. It was absolutely, I should have put a whole piece of skin on it because it was rusty.
Now, Dad, so you left the car running, sucking or running carbon monoxide into the tank the whole time you were welding?
Yeah.
Yes.
To make sure there was no, now the carbon monoxide mixed with the oxygen or
Well, no,
re-
there is no oxygen with carbon
They
monoxide.
it replaced
That's why
it.
you die if you
It
breathe.
didn't, right there.
Okay, okay.
And I knew that. And I said,
How'd you know that?
Experience.
Okay. Okay.
So anyway, here comes,
Oh, somebody
I'm
saw,
doing this at the-
somebody saw him doing it.
Oh,
somebody.
saw you welding on a gas
I
tank
am welding on the gas tank.
In the garage.
in the
In a
garage.
garage yet?
Yes.
Oh, dear
And
God.
he said, what in the hell are you doing? And I think,
It might have been me. I don't know.
it could have been, but I really think it was
Or
Mark. Mark
Mark
Frechette.
Frechette.
He said, what in the hell are you doing? I got this car running. I got a hose into the tank.
Into
Into the
filling
gas
up,
tank?
hooked up
Of
And-
another car or just a tank sitting there?
from another car.
Okay.
I had to have something running to get carbon monoxide.
Right.
Okay, so I got a car running. And here this tank.
Yeah,
It's got pressure in it from the exhaust from this
Pumping
car.
into it.
yeah.
And it's blowing my damn welding.
Torch out.
Well,
No, it's blowing my welding.
Your solder,
It was blowing out.
blowing it off the crack.
So I said, there's only one goddamn thing I can do there, and that's slow it down. Less pressure. So I slowed the throttle down.
On the car.
And everything was fine. I got a great big, as big as this goddamn thing, I just put a hunk of tin right on around it and I soldered it right there.
On the hole.
Yeah, over the hole.
Oh, my God.
And he said, you know-
he taught me that.
Huh?
He taught me that you could do that.
Yeah.
So I used to do it,
Did you?
Did you use it?
but I got.
Why wouldn't it be
I've
safer
done it several
just to empty the tank and do the soldering
Because then you
in?
got fumes. You got to get rid of those
Fumes.
You
fumes.
still have fumes to deal with.
Or you empty out a gas tank and
You
it'll
still have-
explode with the fumes.
Oh, okay. So
I
no,
mean,
it's
it-
So then you got to put water in it. And then you got to
And
deal
where's
with
it-
the cleaning the water,
Water
out of
out.
it. Otherwise, it
so it's
sucks it into
faster just to do it this way,
So
Yeah.
I.
and still safe.
the. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
But
it
the only thing
cannot-
that happened to me
it
is I got
cannot
sicker
burn.
than a son of a bitch
Oh, yeah.
over that tank, and I was breathing.
And it's leaking.
It's leaking,
Carbon monoxide.
and I'm right over it.
And you're breathing
And
that.
pretty soon,
God.
I'm wait.
Yeah.
Oh, you're getting dizzy. Just like when people are in a garage and
You
do
know.
suicide
Well,
and
yeah.
suck the
Yeah.
And
suck carbon monoxide and they kill
So
themselves.
anyway, the damn Mark, as smart as he was, he understood that right away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he understood it. He said, "Good luck."
Wow.
Yeah, he just backed up away.
Yeah.
Two-wheel dolly you hooked onto a car and then put a car on the front, the wheels on that, and we drove it to sale many times. I bought that in Pickford, and the son of a bitch was out of line.
Or you'd go down the road like this.
Yeah. So anyway, here I am going down between Harrison and Claire. Straight stretch. And all of a sudden, that goddamn car just did
sideways.
It spun me around 360 degrees. This car back here on the dolly spun with me. And I got it settled down and parked.
Never heard anything.
It was all stretched right out.
Yeah.
That's how slippery it was. There's a car behind me. And he watched this whole thing. I stopped my tow thing. He pulled up. He got out of the car. I'll never forget that. He said, "Who in the hell taught you to drive?" That's the first thing he said. I said, "You know, the good Lord did a lot." He said, I never seen anything handled like you handled that. He said, that was immaculate. And I'm sitting back here with God.
Say it.
Woo!
I'm glad that's over with.
For Escanaba. He sold
That is-
That was when I bought the airplane.
2 cars, but you were towing 2 cars
Yeah.
over to, I think, Dale Cap over in Escanaba.
No,
Somebody else.
no, Billy.
And it was wintertime.
It was the used car dealer in Iron Mountain.
Oh, Sorensen?
No.
Bob?
Bob.
Oh, really?
Bob, what's his last name? Frechette.
Cat?
No, Frechette.
Frechette.
First shot.
And he
And I'm home. I'm home. It's wintertime and it's storming and he's gonna run these cars out.
I want to buy an airplane.
And I get this phone call. It's him. He said, I'm on US 2. He said, I rolled over both of them cars.
I didn't roll any of them.
Yes, you did. And I said,
Yeah.
he said, bring the wrecker. And we had that bigger wrecker there.
Yeah.
I said, okay. But I said, if you got 2 cars wrecked, how are we going to get both of them home? He said, just bring the wrecker. I said, okay. So over there you go. And we hooked up 1 car, and I said, now what are we going to do with the other one? He got in it, and he said, push me. I said, what?
Push him with the wrecker.
No, it's nighttime.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Does
So
he
I
have
got-
lights?
Yeah, I had headlights. Till
The
the
motor
battery
just didn't-
goes dead, you know.
Oh, because you
Well,
never.
the motor
Well,
would
the
run.
motor ran.
And so I'd give me a generator.
Now you said he rolled these cars.
Yes,
so I
he
mean,
did roll
it
it.
wasn't
The roof was smashed. And
but the axles were straight,
oh,
where
yeah,
he
you
could.
could steer them. You could, you
Oh,
know.
it rolled over on its top.
Yeah.
So
wow.
And you rolled it back with the record.
Yeah, well,
But
rolled
it
over.
wasn't drivable by itself.
No.
No.
But the
Good
engine would
steer.
run to keep the batteries. He had lights
So I hooked one on
to
the
the
back.
wrecker.
On the back.
Uh-huh.
And I'm questioning. Well, how do you
How
get
you
the
second
end?
car?
We'll have to make another trip. No. He said, just push me. I said, all right, I'll push him. It's nighttime, so I pushed him all the way to
All the way to
Newberry.
Newberry.
Newberry, bullshit. We were going to Iron Mountain.
No, we brought them back home. They were smashed up. You couldn't sell them to them smashed up. You were on your way to
Yeah,
deliver them.
Yeah, but he still bought those 2 cars. He wanted them. 2
Like
cars.
that?
Yeah. He bought them just the way they were.
What has this got to do with the airplane?
I traded 4 cars, even up, for that Bonanza.
Really?
Yeah.
Was
Used
the
one.
Bonanza in good shape?
Oh shit!
I flew that son of a
Boy,
bitch
he
1,200 hours.
Oh, it was very nice. You don't remember that? That
Well, I don't.
Bonanza?
I remember the Bonanza, but I don't remember
And a V-tail.
Yeah,
that he didn't buy it.
he did a lot of ambulance work with that Bonanza.
Oh yeah, and
Hearse work
hearse work. Yeah,
with that Bonanza.
he used to take people up with him when he flew a dead body back that he'd scare. Was it Jerry? Who was it you scared that went back and the body was pooping and a farting and a.
Probably was Uncle Al or
No, Al didn't.
Al was a wolf.
I landed that 180 Cessna, the pink one.
yeah, with the motor blew up.
No, that was Boyd's.
Yeah.
Larry Boyd's. And I knew that motor wasn't going to run. I'd go to.
Would you hear it knocking or something?
I heard now and then knock, and it's a wonder it flew as long as it did. I'd go St. Ignace. I'd go Mackinac
Oh, you knew
City.
it was going to happen.
I knew. Flew over Gaylord.
You kept.
I kept an
kept
airport.
an airport in sight. Yeah.
Oh, so you went out
And
of your
if I
way.
needed a failure, I had
You
one.
knew you
Yeah.
had. Okay.
And, well, anyway,
But you had an Uncle Al or
I had Uncle Al in the aircraft,
yeah.
along with the dead body, and me, and I flew it. I was heading for Toledo,
Oh, a long ways.
and I got
Oh,
off.
I picked you up in Whitehall or
No, in a little town called Monroe,
Monroe. It's right down by the Michigan border.
and Al that was with me.
Uncle Al.
Yeah.
He said, "Ray," he said, "what's going on?" Oil all over the goddamn windshield.
Oh, it blew up. I mean, it
Oh,
blew
my.
up.
The motor did?
Yeah.
And you're up in the air.
The
Yeah.
rod sticking out.
A rod
The
went
bottom.
right through the bottom,
Oh,
and then the
my
oil goes
God.
everywhere.
Well, how's he flying?
Dead stick.
Dead stick.
What does that mean?
No motor.
No motor.
Your
Well, how are
glider.
you
You're,
flying?
you're a glider.
Oh, you're a glider at that point.
I was about 5,000 foot.
You know, a plane won't just.
Oh my.
Well, that's true.
It glides. You know, like a glider.
And I was on.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes they do that. How come?
Or if you put them into a spin,
Because the wind.
Spin stall.
Yeah.
then you're going to
You
corkscrew your way to the ground. But
You're going to screw into the ground.
you got to keep your airspeed up.
Okay.
So I was on Unicon at Monroe, and I said, "Mayday, Mayday, 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 Mayday." I got no damn answer. Nothing.
And Al's with you?
Yeah.
Now wait a minute. He don't know what's going on.
He
He knows what Mayday means.
There's an Apache at the head of the runway. That's the direction I had to land in because that wind
into
was
the
pretty
wind.
heavy.
Yeah.
And I wanted that airplane out of there.
Yeah.
So that's why I was screaming on the damn.
And Unicom means it's Unicom is everybody in that area should be hearing.
Should hearing. It's
if they're
universal
on.
and
channel.
I never got a damn
Didn't hear
word.
a damn thing.
Anyway, I dead stick that damn airplane with the dead body and Al in the middle of the runway. And
Right
here
over 'em.
comes this goddamn Jeep behind me. He said, "What in the hell do you think you're doing?" I said, "I'm trying to save a life." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Why don't you inspect the goddamn cowling of this airplane before you chew my
That
There's a
looked
rod.
like this 5,000 feet in the air.
There's a rod hanging on.
Hanging on.
hanging out. He said, "Well, I never seen anything like that in my life." He said, "These people in that twin Apache was wondering what the hell was going on."
When he went right over him.
Well, I
Yeah.
said,
Oh,
I
gee.
said, "You run right over there and tell them I made it."
You're sorry.
No, you
No.
run right over there and tell them I made an emergency landing.
So what did Uncle Al say about all this?
He asked me a question, and it's to God, this
One
is
question.
the truth. What in the hell are we doing here?
He had no idea.
No idea. He thought Dad just chose to land there?
Well, Monroe is about 15 miles north of Toledo.
On the border.
Now, Dad, what made that engine do that?
It was wore out.
Wore out. Larry Boyd was one of those kind of guys that used to work for me, and I know him better than I know him. He was an absolute, unquestionable, fine employee. But he didn't know shit.
About an
As
engine?
far as maintenance.
So he
went,
owned the plane,
He owned the plane.
but he didn't know anything
Well,
about
he
maintenance.
wanted to be like me. He said, if Ray
he
can
didn't.
fly.
You know that costs money to have all these $100
Inspections.
inspections and.
Inspection.
And he did.
Now, Dad, you're not allowed to do your own inspections, are you?
Oh,
As
no,
a pilot?
no, I had to take it
And
in
So
my
you
cap.
still had to
He
do
didn't have the money to do it, so he just didn't do it.
Oh,
I
well,
told
how do
him.
you get his
I-
license every year? Don't
Billy,
you have to show your
I
inspections?
told him the last time I flew it, I said, Larry, boy, that engine is going to fail you if you don't take care of it. Well, this was about 30 hours later.
Oh, that you bought it?
Yeah, and I needed it real
Oh, he
bad.
didn't buy it. He was just using it.
I was using
Oh,
it. I was
okay.
renting it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because something was
'Cause he was
wrong
hauling
with
the
it.
No, my aircraft needed $100.
This
That's
was
what
in
it
the $100 shop.
So he was hauling a body, And-
using Larry's.
to haul a body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You all right,
You okay?
Boy,
Do you need some help?
no.
Laverne?
If I need help, I'll
Told Price, the feather number 1, I said, Price, what is wrong with that number 1? Well, he said, what do you want wrong with it?
Was there no black box back then?
No, shit, black box.
No.
Well, I mean, you know, I don't know.
And he said, let's tell him the magneto went on one. Well, I said, when you get on the ground, you make goddamn
Don't
sure
we got a bad magneto.
you got a cowling take off, and you got to get that magneto and carry it in your hip pocket. With the wires dragging the ground.
Yeah, but something wrong with it.
So anyway, we landed, and everything was fine. I landed on one engine,
Of course, they come up to him wanting to know what's going
Well,
on.
sure, because it's an emergency. Do they have
Right
ambulances
away,
right
right
there?
away.
Jeep probably pulls up.
A Jeep followed me, come up and said, what are you doing here? Well, I said, did you see that other engine over there? It didn't have a prop. Well, I said, don't you call that an emergency landing? That's why I'm here. Okay, where do you want to park? You tell me. And away you go. You follow them
And then you spend the weekend.
Because they got to look
Well, 'cause
at
they
it and
gotta
fix
fix
it.
it.
They got to
They
fix
gotta
You gotta
it.
get parts.
Because they're
gotta get
they're your
parts.
allies,
Yeah.
right? They're going to
Right.
fix your
And they've
plane.
got
Fix it.
B-25s there too.
Yeah. Oh, that was
So
a-
now, while they're fixing it, what is Raymond doing? And all his.
And his
Well, the colonel, or the major and I and Price and 2 or 3 officers, pilots, we went in this goddamn big hotel. I mean, it was just like if you're walking in the Cadillac Hotel in Detroit.
Yeah.
Big place.
And here is 2 American women.
What are they doing there?
Just a minute.
Okay.
They're the ones that have the daughter that has the
shut up.
husband that has the oil wells.
Oh. And he said
And I said, what are you doing here?
the oil well man
So
is
he's
Arab,
rich. He's rich.
but he's also Arab.
No, this is American.
He owns the oil wells.
Shell Oil Company is American.
Okay, okay.
And who are you? I said, I'm fighting a war. But I happen to be on vacation. Of course, after explaining, and I see this young girl.
I understand.
Built like a brick shit house.
I want to hear about it, Dad.
And,
Oh, God, what a weekend.
and she said, well, what's your future like? And I said, well,
Now, who's she?
she being the mother of this daughter,
Okay, is asking you.
what am I doing here?
Okay.
And I said, well, we are just on vacation on a furlough, and we fought a little bit of the war, and we're in the rest area. He said, how did you get in here? I said, it's a long story, ma'am. I don't want to go through that again. So, everything was fine, and she said, well, are you going anyplace? I said, I might take a little trip down to Cairo. Well, that's the Nile River, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And Price is with me.
Now, do you have a rental car, or what do you got going on here for wheels?
We got an airplane, is all we got.
No, but I mean, Dad, your airplane's disabled. So, I mean, bring
Well,
me.
not really.
Not really.
Just put the mag back on and it'll run.
But I mean, you can't just. How do you get to the hotel? How do you get to the restaurant? How do you get
We
to?
took a military vehicle.
Okay, so you had wheels.
And-
Okay.
oh, yeah,
Now I'm trying to
we had
fill in the gaps
command
here.
car.
I'm
The
trying to
command
fill
car.
in the gaps here.
So, the one mother said, where do you think you want to go tomorrow? She said, and if you're flying, will you take my daughter?
She asked you to take her
Yeah,
daughter?
Yeah. Oh, well, pilots are, plush. They are honest.
They're honest
You can
gentlemen.
trust a pilot
Honest gentlemen, officers.
if they only do.
They only knew.
And,
you, Raymond.
uh,
I hear you.
oh, okay.
You know the movie Officer and a Gentleman?
Oh,
Yeah.
so I said, I don't know if we can. I got to put a magneto on my airplane. I got to make sure it's all
It's in his
right.
pocket.
That
And
is fine.
I don't know, but I just assumed she wouldn't go. Oh, she'd love to go down to Cairo.
He had reverse
She said,
psychology.
Can you see maybe the Sphinx and
The Sphinx, which is right there, the Egyptian. Yeah, the Egyptian.
the pyramids? Well, yeah, I suppose that's what we're going down there for. I said we're going to have to fly over them because I wasn't about to take a goddamn buggy out in that desert.
Oh, hot. Right.
That's
So-
beneath a pilot, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, she said, well, if you would take her, leave a note under my door, and I'm in room 206 or whatever it was. So Price says, well, my God, I said, give that girl a ride. And the major says, I don't give a damn. He said, oh, you take, but he said, I'm more worried about getting that airplane running. He said, you know, we took it apart,
Took the
and if
bag
we
out.
don't take any time putting it back together, they're going to feel like we pulled a leg.
Yeah.
So I said, well, let's try it. So Price says, okay, I'll try it. So he goes with that car, a command car, back to the airport with the
Magneto.
Magneto. He said, hey, he said, I got this mag fixed. I found the trouble. Can I go ahead and put it on my airplane? Yeah, absolutely, you can do that. You got the tools? Oh, yeah.
That's how well you look for things.
And first of all,
Back out later.
Well,
So,
Buzz job. He about
so-
had his wheels on top of the water.
Dad, what was on your mind before you did this? Did
Daddy-
you have intentions?
first of all, I was experienced.
Yeah, but Dad, wasn't that a little bit
No,
lower than what
No.
you should have been?
no.
You couldn't have
I
stalled
still
out
had
that plane.
5 foot. I
Oh,
still had
fi-
5 or 6 foot off the water.
Dad,
I
you don't
was-
have much air under your wings.
You realize I don't need air?
You don't?
No, I need
What
air
keeps that airplane in the air?
under the wings, yes.
Thank you.
But it ain't gonna move. The air ain't gonna move. It's gonna stay there.
I ain't even a pilot. I know you need air under the damn
Oh,
wing.
yes, you do.
More than 5 feet.
So I really buzzed them good.
Oh, yes, you did.
And when I leveled out, I was
Now he's got to
doing-
get over the trees.
Yeah, now I said I better not stall this son of a bitch in them trees.
Oh, yeah.
So I pull it back quickly. Because I had a lot of airspeed at that point.
Yeah, because he's
Oh,
diving.
you down? Okay.
And now I'm above the trees.
Well,
Oh,
you
shit.
can level up.
Now the engine keeps me going.
okay.
And now experience. How many times do you think I flew over the Mediterranean Sea to France?
That's what I want to hear about.
How about when you went across
I heard,
you and that guy
I heard
wanted
that
to get a
you,
little bit of tail.
I heard
Okay.
that you wanted to get a little Egyptian tail out
And
there.
you and that guy took that
And you
bomber.
wanted to impress some Egyptian
You
woman.
took that bomber over to Cairo.
Oh, no,
And
no.
you said to him, feather number one.
Let's,
You
when they
told
wouldn't let you
me.
land there.
Now you
that was
told
a
me.
B-25.
Yeah.
You told me you flew between the pyramids. Now is that a true story, or is
That's
that
a true story.
or is that a fable?
No, that's a true.
You flew.
The pyramids are shaped, one is here,
Yeah.
and one is about here,
Yeah.
and there's one here.
Okay.
Well, I couldn't go straight to it because this is in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't go straight to there, so I got to lay it over
On its
because
side.
the wings would, if I went like this, the wings would hit it.
Well, yeah.
So I went this way.
Now, why did you do that?
For a guy by the name of Gloss.
No female was part of it.
Oh shit, no. There's a female in the next door.
Oh, okay.
So
And she's Egyptian, right?
no, she's American.
Oh, I thought she was
No,
Egyptian.
she's
girl.
American. Her mother and the mother's sister had a husband, I don't know which one, in Africa with Shell Oil Company.
Okay.
And they were either digging or
Mm-hmm.
recouping a well.
Excavating some oil well.
And what's his name that I know real well?
Pernicki? No.
Pernicka.
Okay.
Let's use that. He's one of my pilots, my wingman. He said, Ray, what in the hell are we going to do today? Well, I said, we can't go downtown.
You were just off furloughed or
All right, to get there, let me play that little tune. I was chosen to fly the B-25 because I put my missions in, and I had a lot of free time.
Oh, okay. You'd already flown all your assigned
Well, what
missions and-
happened is these pilots deserved to go on rest leave.
Yeah.
This pilot over here deserved to go on rest leave. This guy over here deserved. So I had about 15 guys that wanted to go to rest leave. Well, and I said, well, to the commanding officer, Leaf was it? I said, where'll I take him? He said, I don't give a shit where you go.
So you wanted to go to Cairo?
I said, well, everybody wants to go to
Oh,
Alexandria
Alexandria.
Now, where's Alexandria? Is it in Egypt?
Africa.
Africa.
And he said, but, he said, you may not get in there. That's an English base.
That's what it
But
was.
they'll refuel you.
Well, they were allies.
Did you hear what I said?
No, I don't understand.
They will not let you come in unless
stay
you
there.
are predetermined from headquarters, which was in Florence. In other words, here comes the B-25, he's all clear. If you people can handle him, let me know before he takes off.
So you can't just leisurely fly in whenever
No.
you want, even if you're allies.
Absolutely
Even
not.
if you're allies.
Even, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So,
Wow, it's wartime.
I took off from our home airport
Which is where?
in Grosseto, Italy.
Grosseto, Italy.
And I flew down to a little town called Benghazi.
Oh, that's in the news now. Benghazi.
And also, I flew across the Mediterranean. So I had to have clearance with, and we didn't have no goddamn radar. It was asshole flight.
Yeah. Seat of the pants.
And you know who was Duke Ellington graduated with my brother Freddie. And he was the co-pilot.
Oh,
Duke Ellington.
yeah.
Yeah. And he said, Ray, he said, I think we better check in. Well, I said, where are we going to check in? Well, he said, land at Sicily. They got a big port there, American. So we landed there, and he goes in. I said, you get the goddamn clearance.
To go into Alexandria.
Yeah. And they said, you ain't going to get in there.
You ain't going there.
Uh,
And you guys wanted to go there.
Gee.
well, all the guys, they never saw it before, you know. It was closed. So, he said, well, I still want to go to Alexandria. How are we going to get there, Ray? Well, I said, let's just go. So I flies across the Mediterranean, lands on a little shore. Oh, what's the name of that little town? Right on the coast of Africa.
Of Africa.
And I hit that town right on the head. And how I did that, there was two ships navigational ships that was out in the Mediterranean. And I picked them up on radar.
Oh, you
Radio.
picked them up on your your ADF.
ADF.
Your ADF.
What is ADS
Automatic
stand?
Direction Finder.
Okay.
You know, they didn't have the
Is that the old timey
the old timey.
navigation?
Yeah.
You could home in on a radio station.
And that's
Like
it.
WNBY or something.
Oh,
And
okay.
it would, the needle
Okay.
would take you there.
And that was what you called navigation
Yeah.
back then.
And he said, well, I said, you fly this son of a bitch. You're an older pilot than me. Bullshit. He said, you doing fine.
You didn't want nothing to do with
No. Well, him graduating with my brother made me feel kind of proud.
that.
Yeah.
So we get across, and sure enough, we hit Benghazi, right, pretty much on the nose. And I called the tower. They answer, everything's line on runway 35 or whatever it was. So I taxied up, follow me, in a Jeep.
Jeep, signed, follow me.
Follow me.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's how we taxied up in the military.
Okay.
So I goes up and shuts the damn thing off. And a guy by the name of Price, not Oscar Price, but I'm not sure what it was, but it was, his
Isn't that
last name was
something?
Price.
If you remember those names.
I said, let's land. He said, what do you want off first? I said, the port engine.
The who?
Port engine. That's the left engine.
Port. Okay. So then versus starboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I said, cut that right-hand engine off. And we landed. Everything was fine. Landed. All the guys got out. 17 guys.
You weren't in a fighter then.
Bomber,
Bomb.
That carried a lot of people.
B-25.
B-25.
But your fighter didn't carry them kind
No,
of people.
Oh, hell. It had
I didn't
room
know
for-
you knew how to fly a bomber.
Well, it's
I
an
Once
know.
you fly one, you
It's
fly
an
them all?
airplane.
Okay.
You fly one, yeah.
Well, he were assigned to a fighter though.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was trained in
Several.
several different planes.
Okay.
See, I flew this B-25 before that. I probably have 200-300
means
hours
bomber.
in one.
Bomber.
And a guy come up in the Jeep, the same one follow me. He hopped out of the Jeep and about a 25-year-old lieutenant. Oh, Captain, he said, how'd you get here? I said, for the seat of my eyes. What else? There's no goddamn navigational here. Oh, okay. He said, where you heading? I said, I want to get into Alexandria.
And he said no. Eh?
You're not going to make it. I
Why?
said, why? He said,
closed.
it's operated by the English.
And it's closed.
But they
And
were our
it's closed.
allies.
It's still closed. You
It's
gotta have
They were our
permission.
closest
It's
allies.
wartime.
And
You don't fly into a friggin' war
weren't
base without permission.
Wasn't England and
I don't-
U.S.
how do they know
the
you're-
people that won the war
Wait a minute.
together?
Hold it.
If you don't have a clearance to fly in, how do they know you don't have a disguised airplane? You might be German. You gotta have a clearance to be there by a tail
Well,
number.
why couldn't he get a clearance? He's got
Because
these
the
people on
base was
furlough.
closed.
We told him we were in America.
Yeah,
They
so
had
that
to.
should have been enough.
No,
No, they.
no. It's
This one is enough when you believe a burglar telling I'm
okay. I'm going to call you up. I'm a burglar. Can I have a clearance to come into your place? I'm an American.
I guess, but I mean, they're our allies.
You gotta go through high
So
command.
if England wanted to come to the U.S., they can't land?
Well, not
because-
without clearance.
No, not without clearance. They couldn't.
No clearance. Now, if you go through the upper echelon office and say,
But these
and
men
they
are
give you orders,
these men are furloughed, aren't they? Don't they have orders?
Hear me.
so they go someplace.
We have an
it was
airport.
good.
So they go someplace else.
We have an airport.
That was a catch.
We have an airport in Italy. It was at a little town called Seto. It was an American airport. Nobody lands on that because we've got a plane that's flying around us 24 hours a day
Gun you down.
and I'll land on your back.
But just to clarify my
I don't
knowledge,
believe that. I don't
Who was
believe
our
you.
biggest ally in World War
Well,
One
the
and two?
English.
The English.
The English. That's
It's
why I
just-
don't get it.
You still got to have clearance.
Yeah, but are
it's
you
called
truthful?
clearance.
Are you true? Okay, I understand now. So
Are
you
you-
weren't on a legal furloughed flight?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
Because if you were on a legal furloughed flight,
No, they borrowed this airplane for a
just
fun
to
weekend,
go on a
and
weekend.
they took off.
Oh, so the
It wasn't under any kind of orders.
no order. Well, that's
No.
what that young guy wanted. He said, "Where's your order?"
Yeah, you didn't have
I
one.
didn't have any.
the 5-star of the
In other words,
of the arm-
five-star general didn't
did
say,
not know
you 17
you
guys
could
can go to
ahead.
Alexandria, here's your orders.
Here's your order. So
They just
had
decided,
they had
we
no
wanna
paper.
go there.
They had no paperwork.
It's like saying, I'm going to go down to the bar.
Okay,
I don't have
gotcha.
permission.
Now I understand because I'm thinking, why couldn't they land in a
Well, anyway,
friendly territory?
this young kid come up to me, lieutenant, and he said, "Oh,"
You can't get there.
he said, "You can't go to Alexandria. It's English controlled, even though it was American." He said, "Because we'd have to write orders and they'd be that thick."
Really?
And they didn't want to.
Well, we want to land there, so maybe what you'd better do is write those orders. Well, I waited an hour and a half, 2 hours, and sure enough, here comes this goddamn same kid. And he had a pad and it was that thick. Well,
So he gave you?
this is a funny story. Here is Major Ellington, my co-pilot,
Yeah.
in the B-25.
He's
He
a
said, "Are we
major.
ready?"
He's a captain.
Yeah, he's a captain. What now? How does that work? Why is he high? He's
It-
outranking you.
Because he's been there longer.
No, well, the big thing is, I can be a lieutenant and order a colonel around
Why?
because I'm in command.
Why?
Pilot. in
I
command.
was given more authority from the higher ups over the colonel.
Because of your flying status or experience.
Experience, baby. All right,
Okay.
we won't get involved in that.
Okay. Gee. Go ahead.
Well, come on.
Turn off the dishwasher.
Pardon me?
Just for a minute.
Turn off the. You can't hear.
Keep talking. No, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Oh, okay. So anyway, this little lieutenant, he come up and he said, "I'm sorry, sir.
Just open it
You
up.
got to have orders to get in there." Well, I said, "How long will it take you to make them?" "Good hour." He wanted to get rid of me.
Yeah. He figured you'd
When
say
you
a
go
lot of
back.
it. Yeah.
And I said, "No, we're going to go to Alexandria." "Oh, shit," he said. "That's going to be a bastard." I said, "Well, can you do it?" He said, "Yeah, I can do it." Well, I said, "I'll wait for you to do it." And of course, he probably had 4 or 5 girls, typists, typing these damn orders out. This is him, he's a lieutenant, and here's the B-25, the serial numbers,
Here's
and
the
such
tail
and such.
number.
You need all that.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yes.
So anyway, I get in the airplane, and I said, "Hey, it's your job to get the 17 deadheads in that plane, Duke.
Why do you call them deadheads, Dad?
The 17 guys that were with him.
They're on furlough. They're
They probably had,
enlisted. They're not officers."
Okay.
And he said, "Well," I said, "that's your problem." I said, "Take care of it." And that's the captain telling a major what to do. And that's how you did that then. And I was strong enough to do this. Anyway.
And you're that mean.
He calls it experience.
And we get to the plane. Price is there. He said, "Are you ready, Captain?" I said, "I'm ready." Start number 1. Number's always the left. So he I started. I said, "Start number 2." He started it. And the windows on a B-25 slid.
Oh, I know where he's going. This is good.
What do you mean they slid?
They slid open.
you
To
know,
the
you
side?
no, hear me.
You're up in the pilots,
Yeah, when you're
and
sitting
you
up.
got a side window.
Yeah.
And you slide it open.
Okay. Okay.
The engine is right here next to it.
Okay.
The engine,
prop.
the prop
On the
about that
front of
far
the
away
wing.
from that window.
Whoa.
Yeah,
okay.
on the front of the wing there.
Okay.
And you know, many days at FB25, I'm here and I can see that prop going around. See this prop going around?
Really, you're that
If that
close.
son of a bitchin' prop come off, they come right
Crook
through.
can slice right through there.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Did that ever happen?
Hell no.
To some people, not you, but did.
But anyway, let him finish his story
Okay.
with the. And he's got these orders now. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
There are a lot of papers.
Yeah.
And I said, Major, I said, do you feel real good? He said, yeah. He said, what do you want? I said, take these and throw them out your window. Well, that goddamn prop got a hold of it.
And papers.
There was papers going all over the goddamn airport.
Well, why did you do that, Dad?
Because he was a
Because
renegade.
I was an American.
Because he was a renegade.
And I was American, and I wanted to go down to Alexandria. And if I had those orders, I would have to read all what's in them orders to come out to the right answers that they wanted.
They ask you questions, security
Oh.
questions.
And I'm not about to read 150 pages of goddamn.
They were in a hurry. They were on furlough.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
They had partying.
That part.
we didn't have any. It's about 400 miles from.
Well, that's how long on a plane.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Especially a B-25.
Well, they're on shit. They cruise about 250, 230.
So you're 2 hours
280.
from your.
I didn't have any navigation. But Rommel made a road from
Rommel's
Benghazi
road,
to
yeah.
Alexander.
What's Rommel? I'm sorry.
Rommel
was
is
a-
is a general for the Luftwaffe,
Yeah,
What's a Luftwaffe?
the German.
Oh.
German pilots.
So he made a road so you could follow it.
Well, that's what I did, yeah.
It was straight.
Well, we all knew as pilots that there was a road from Benghazi to Alexandria. So anyway, that's how we flew and got there. So I
So
said,
now he's coming in.
Now it's an English,
English
land.
base, and he's got to talk to the control tower.
Yeah,
I
and he's
gotta-
got no orders.
No orders.
So when they give orders, they don't give them to him and then email them
no,
to
we
them.
didn't have email. Where in the hell is your computer?
So
So anyway, here comes the major. I said,
are you landed yet?
no,
No, he's
Okay.
I'm
coming
in the
in.
air.
Okay.
I'm going there.
Okay.
I said, you know, Major, I said, they're going to ask what our orders are.
Yeah.
And I said, guess what? You're going to work that out over the radio. Well, he said, I can do that. He was a hell of a guy. And we go flying along, and I said, hey, you better get the job done. Here's the goddamn mic.
We're getting close.
So I called the tower, and I'd be damned, we picked them up just like that.
Shoot.
So I gave the mic to
Duke.
Duke. I said, talk. And he was, I don't know what the hell he was saying. Well, you can't land here is what I heard the words.
Yeah.
We are a British
Base.
Air Force. We are a British airfield, and we don't accept any American aircraft. I said, well, this.
We have an emergency.
I said to Duke, I said, well, shit, tell him
Tell him we got an
We're
emergency.
feather number one.
What does that mean?
It's
You shut the engine off.
it's coasting.
Oh, you're down
And now
an
I'm
engine.
flying on one engine.
Like you're down an engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're not really
He
down.
told them, well, tell them we got an emergency. Then they got to let you in. If
Ah.
we got an emergency, they got to
You
let
got
you
an
in.
emergency. Okay.
So he did that.
So he
Sure enough, he said, you can land on runway 25.
Because you're down.
And he told
told his co-pilot, feather number 1.
Feather means turn it off.
So when you're
right.
taxiing up, it's just
Well,
just
feathering means this, honey.
It's like a chick.
This Price guy was an absolute golden. He was a sergeant, tax sergeant. And he'd bust that airplane loose to get out of there. I mean, if he had to. So anyway, I said to Duke, he said, this is an emergency. We got one engine out.
Okay.
And I said to Price, I said, feather number 1. Now, feathering means you can turn that prop
See, it's a
so it's a
variable
knife.
pitch.
Once you have a,
So instead of grabbing the air,
It's just
it's
like a knife.
It's like a knife. It cuts the air.
it's just
So there's no lift. There's
there's no pull.
Right.
answer the
Telephone.
phone, answer it.
No, just let it go.
No,
Well,
answer it.
answer the damn thing then.
Well, where is it?
I'll get it.
There, but
Oh, they must, Dad.
Hutton lives in a little town on the East Coast.
Now, Hunted, did you remember him during the
Oh,
war,
yeah.
or just
Oh,
you met
yeah.
him at the reunion?
No. I met him.
He was one of your in your flight.
I knew
had him?
of him. He joined the squadron real late.
Okay.
He joined the squadron probably in the early part of 45.
Oh.
And
the
I
war
was,
ended when in 45? It ended in 45.
yeah. But
What
I
month?
was I
Do
was
you
there. I got there in June. No, I got there in May.
Right. And the war ended in what, December? Was that December of 45?
I thought it was October.
Was it Pearl Harbor that ended?
No, well, Pearl Harbor didn't have anything to do with Germans.
Okay. That's right, because that was the Japanese.
The Japanese signed the treaty on a aircraft carrier, I think Alexis. I'm not sure.
Oh.
Oh,
Some of your best years, oh, Dad.
well, the thing is, it sure would be nice to know if I'd have stayed in how high of a rank I would have had.
Mm-hmm.
However, I would have went through probably the same skirmishes
Yes.
that I did in World War II, and
Like with Korea.
there was too many things that,
Now, I didn't hear a lot about the air war in Korea because, you know, Paul was in Korea. He was a ground soldier. So, was there a lot of air fighting in Korea? remember?
mostly air.
There was? Okay. Because as we progressed after World War II, because of you good pilots, it became more and more air fighting.
Well, they become more accurate.
Right, right.
And in other words, you could kill without harming any other person many more soldiers than you could on the ground.
Correct, yeah.
And the only thing,
But you did take in a lot of civilians.
well, the big thing is on the ground, what helped them is they would, once the air cleaned up this area where there was no more enemies, the ground people would move in and keep it so that no one could infiltrate that.
Okay, so that was their job.
Yeah.
They, after you secured it, the pilot,
Then we
then the
went.
ground forces maintained it.
Yeah. They kept they kept the line away.
Correct, yeah.
See, that's why Anzio, which is in Italy, right below Naples, that was a big killer.
Oh, was it,
It
yeah.
was something like Normandy.
Uh-huh. Wow. Now, you spent all your airtime in northern Africa.
No.
I thought
Most
you-
of my time I was on the Italian country.
Okay.
The only time I
Where
got...
was your, did you have a home air base?
Oh yeah, Corsica.
Okay. In France?
And well, there's a little hitch to that. We were 9 months on Corsica, which is an island. owned by Italians.
By Italians, okay.
Yeah.
Is it off the shore
Where's
there?
my globe?
Your globe?
I
Do
thought
you-
my globe was here.
Do you have a globe?
But anyway, if looking at it from north and south, here's
Mhm.
north being
Right.
this being south.
Right.
If you would go to, let's say, Naples or Rome, Corsica would be to the left or to the east,
To the west, you mean?
all right, west,
Mm-hmm.
in the Mediterranean.
Right.
And the northern part of Corsica was probably less than 150 miles from Normandy, France,
Mm-hmm.
where the big. See, that was a massacre.
Oh,
They
no,
weren't
Dad.
prepared. They weren't prepared.
When you say they, you mean the Americans.
Yeah, they weren't prepared. They did it wrong.
A lot of men died.
Oh,
God.
thousands. What that was, visualize a bluff.
Mm.
And top of the bluff were all Germans.
Mhm.
And the invasion came in on the coastal with destroyers and these things that would have a tailgate on it and they'd fold down. Remember them?
Mm-hmm.
Well, shit, all the Germans had to do was less than 100 yards away kill you. And all them Americans, whether they died or not, just... Isn't that something? Well, our job, I flew 8 missions.
You were never on the ground, were you, Dad?
No, not fighting. Our job was to go to Normandy and soften that top of those cliffs so there wouldn't be any Germans up there.
Right.
And oh God. I know I flew 8 and I imagine there's probably 20, 25 pilots
I
flew with me, you know.
Flew just as
And
many.
that-
You just shot.
Oh shit, we was just like cutting them down with a hacksaw blade.
You could. Were you close enough to see the men running?
Yes. I can give you one occurrence. And I don't want to talk about that part of it, but
I remember you said, Dad, you could actually see people running without their heads.
this one guy, we were troop trains, we were always after troop trains.
What's that mean, Dad?
Troop people, soldiers that were in railroad cars.
Okay, troop trains. Troop trains. Okay. But they also carried ammunition.
We used to
and-
strafe them. Doors or no doors, we'd strafe through the wood. And they would go out the other side running in the field.
Uh-huh. You just...
I'd just comb right here and fall down. And it bothered me.
Oh, I'm sure. What's
Like this one motorcycle. See, we tried to get cars that were running close to the front lines because we know they were carrying orders.
that? Oh, okay.
Well, this one motorcycle, of course, with a sidecar on it, you know damn well, he's carrying orders up there because he's the only one that could go real fast and dodge a lot of bullets.
Right.
I saw that
From the air.
from there. He's coming down the road. Sidecar, motorcycle, and a
And now you're
driver.
out there by yourself? You got a complete...
Well, there
formation?
was, I probably had maybe we usually went out with 6 to 8 other guys.
Aircraft, okay.
And of course the leader, in some cases, took his own target. And all we'd say to one another over the radio is, I see a motorcycle, I'm going down to get it. So the others would look around and find out other targets.
So you were able to go out by yourself if you saw a
Well,
target.
not very far. We'd stay together.
Okay.
they'd follow us down, follow me down to the point where they were, let's say 3,000 feet above me and maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles back of me.
Okay.
In case there was enemy fires,
Okay.
enemy aircraft.
Right.
Well, anyway, I'll never forget it. This damn motorcycle and rider had a sidecar, and there was a man in the sidecar.
Sidecar. Okay.
When I spurted my guns, they converged in one spot. In other words, all 8 caliber machine guns,
Went right.
all the bullets went in one
right
spot.
to one spot.
Well, I must have hit a direct hit because the motorcycle went this way and the sidecar went that way. And of course, the humans that were in them was
Right.
falling all over.
Right.
The motorcycle was on fire. But then on the way down, I see where the rider and the sidecar rider, passenger was in the ditch. I couldn't, I just had to hit him. And
They were still
I
alive?
just nailed him. I don't know.
Mhm.
I just nailed him right in the
Right.
ground.
Right.
But it was, you learn to live, you know.
Well, you think that being a pilot, you're so far up, you don't even know what you're hitting. But in your situation, Dad, in your experiences, there were times that you actually saw your target.
Oh yeah.
You saw the body, the eyes, the head,
Oh,
the
yeah.
arms.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because nowadays, the pilots of the bombers and the fighters, they don't see their
They
target.
don't see that.
Other than on a little screen on their their TV. But you actually saw, maybe even the eyes. But you actually, no, probably not. But you actually saw the bodies of people.
I saw bodies that were running in fields, carrying a gun under his arm,
Right.
and I burst of my
Yeah.
cut him right off at the belt,
And he's still running until,
Yeah,
like for a few seconds, for a second, yeah.
and the feet kept going. And
Right, right.
But
As I was saying, you flew so low.
well, we were 300-400 feet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's nothing. I mean, sometimes trees are 100 feet in the air. Yeah.
So boiled. Yeah. Well, that's
Oh.
10-12 years ago.
I was pretty little when he had that state police plane. I remember that plane.
What's state police plane?
He bought a plane that the state police
Traded in.
originally owned, new. You know, state police for.
Just a surveillance? Or
They used it for traffic.
And it was
what did Dad use
I
it
think it was
for?
a tail dragger, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a 180.
Yeah. Nice. It was a nice airplane.
Dad used
like
it.
new.
Dad wanted to use it for what? Just pleasure?
Yeah, for pleasure. You know. For,
And did he fly bodies with that?
Oh
or-
yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I rode, but I was small then. You know, I was.
You were about
Small.
16.
Oh, I think I was younger.
Were
than
you
that.
driving, Bill?
No, I wasn't even driving that.
Okay.
Oh yes, you were.
I don't think so.
But anyway, I'm up at 54,000.
Oh, with that P-47?
Well, what happened? Of course, I'm always experimenting. So all of a sudden, I'm up so damn high. What do I do? I just quit. I just quit flying. Took my feet off the rudders. I took my hands off the stick, and I left the throttle right where it was, about in the middle.
Oh my God.
And I just let her go.
See what it did.
Well, she increased her speed and decreased because of the difference in altitude. Air
You're
was getting
climbing the whole
thicker.
time? You're
No, I'm
Oh.
dropping.
You're dropping now.
And of course, the downhill would make you go faster, and then as you went faster, the trim tabs come into play.
Oh, and so it was doing less?
This guy just letting it go.
Yeah.
Well, a light bulb lit up in my head. I said, I wonder what the hell would happen if I shoved that stick right tight to the firewall,
Holy shit.
no throttle, and just let it go. How fast would it go? I got that sucker into a
I can still remember what that.
dead stick. What do I want?
Compressibility?
Compressibility.
What's that mean?
That-
It would not move.
It was a regular.
It was just like you had a hold of
Oh,
a,
yeah.
a shovel, a crowbar, and couldn't move it.
It got stuck there?
When jets, break the sound barrier.
Yeah.
What happens is the air is piling up so much in front
Fast.
of the nose.
That's what caused it.
Okay, you're actually compressing that air. Well,
Right.
then you break through,
And that's a POW?
and that's the boom.
Okay.
And it goes by you. You're
Okay.
going so fast,
It just,
you finally bust through it.
okay.
And then
Okay.
you
That couldn't do that.
Oh,
you
back
know,
then.
I mean,
try to get there.
I mean, that plane
So,
wasn't capable.
it
So it's,
actually lost?
it's right again. It's compressed and it's compressed. It can't quite get through it, and
Compressibility.
the controls just get like
Frozen.
Frozen.
Almost. Okay.
The leading edge of the wing. Air builds up 4 times greater at compressibility than it does flying through it. In
it's
other
a-
words,
them
you can take
airplanes
your
must have
finger-
been strong.
I was gonna say, what just made it not just go?
They're
you
strong.
can take
Fall
your-
apart.
They're strong.
You can take your finger, and I defy you at 400 mile an hour. You could not
Move
hold
it.
that. You would, the finger would break off.
What?
That's
Really?
how terrific it is.
Well, the
Yeah.
air had busted. Yeah.
It's just air. I mean, you know.
Yeah, it did
The
there.
air has
So anyway,
got a matter to it. I mean,
No, that's
I'm
true. It's
saying-
got a matter to it. Good
I'm
point.
saying, I want to find out.
Yeah, so is this a picture you want
Right.
like this?
I'm way hell up in the sky.
Oh, I see.
I'd lots of room,
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause that's pretty too, that lightning.
so I just shoved the stick forward and held it there. That's when I hit 462 mile an hour.
Holy, back then. They even went that fast?
Well, now wait, this is downhill.
now you're straight.
Down. You got gravity to help you.
You are doing it here.
It's not all motor.
Yeah. Christ, you're pulling water vapor off the ends of the wings.
And so, geez, you know, the old,
Buy a grocery.
Now, what about happens to the pilot and his blood flow?
Yeah, it's all kinds of.
it,
When you're
it
going that
bothers you.
fast.
Takes friends.
That's where your G suit comes in.
But it doesn't make you like,
Hey,
yeah. But I mean, your blood flow
Well,
does the same thing. It's like instead of up here, it's back here.
No.
Yes, it
The
does.
windshield,
Dad.
no, the
The
windshield
windshield.
does that. You,
Okay.
You
the
are
windshield
the same
breaks.
as
Patty,
in
you're
the-
not really pulling
So
G's
the pressurized,
falling
you have a
straight down.
pressurized cabin?
no,
You're not pulling G's when you're falling straight. It's when you do this.
that's when you pull it.
Now, the
Okay,
blood's
everything
going.
still keeps going down and you're going up. It's all your blood flow.
That's G.
No, when you
goes
change, you're doing 400 miles an hour.
Right, going
Now,
this way.
Now, pull a stick back and take yourself back.
Yeah, and what happens
At-
to your vessels, your blood flow?
Everything goes to your feet,
Correct.
and you pass out.
Correct. Everything keeps
But
going
he wasn't
down.
at that point. He was just diving.
It's just like rapid
But
deceleration.
at one point in time, he had to,
Pull out, right?
or
hit
he's
the
going to
ground.
hit the earth.
But so how do you keep you? Well, so what kept his mind going?
When he pulled out,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now wait a minute.
I don't know.
You
He
don't
must have
lose your
slowed it
mind
down.
going down.
It's
You
what,
have- It's when you do this.
Right.
so you've already done.
So how
this.
did you do
No,
that?
I didn't.
He was still
so
going
what
down.
Makes you
So I
dad-
shoved that stick forward. The fast I get it. In fact, Bill, I had to feather the prop.
Oh, you'll over, yeah, the engine will blow up.
No, I had to feather the prop so the blades would go this way
Right,
instead of this way.
Mhm.
This became a brake.
right.
So I decreased the pitch, which would make it this way.
Oh, and
I'd
slow.
go faster.
Yeah, right.
And I felt that all out.
How did you pull it out?
Yeah, did
Joe?
you ever get confused? Did you ever get, like Freddie, you think he got disoriented, and you always said that Freddie's accident was pilot error.
He was in weather.
Absolutely.
He was in weather.
Absolutely.
Couldn't see it.
Did you never get into that kind
Mm-hmm.
of situation?
You don't do that when you're an older pilot. You went through it. You had experience with it.
But Freddie was older than you and had more experience.
No, he didn't have any experience.
He was in training.
He's in training.
I thought Dad was the baby.
Honey, he was in the service before I was.
Yeah.
And he was graduated.
Yeah.
Now he's a young pilot.
Yeah.
I was an old pilot.
Even though he was older than you,
Age has no bearing on it.
but you went in after him, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
He was
So,
dead when he went
Why
in, right?
did he have? Okay, so it's got nothing to do with. Okay,
No, it doesn't.
okay.
He went in when he was 24. I went in when I was 20.
20.
Okay. His experience was 6 months of
Okay.
flying.
When he
Okay.
died.
So I thought you were congruently flying.
Huh?
No,
Not
I
before
thought,
he went
I
to
thought they were
service.
flying at the same time. I thought they both men were in the boat.
no, shit, I was in high
Because
school.
I thought there was a story that you told that you didn't, that grandma did not want two sons in the service flying at the same
Well,
time.
after she lost one, she didn't want another
But
one to go.
she had already lost Freddie before Raymond
Yeah,
went in.
right.
And Leo was in there too.
And Leo was in too, right?
He wasn't in pilot, so he
No.
wasn't in
He
airplane.
was infantry.
No.
What was
Ah,
Are you gonna come with us?
where you going?
We got 40 minutes.
it? Take Laverne back.
I'm gonna go with you.
Oh, 7:30.
We're gonna
okay.
take Laverne
I
back.
thought you said 8. Okay.
No, but I'm tired.
That's all right.
What did Leo do in the service?
Huh?
Leo, what did he do
Leo's dead.
in the service?
No, Leo.
Oh, he was a crew chief.
Oh, he's a crew
He
chief.
was General Doolittle's P-38 pilot crew chief.
No shit.
Yeah.
What does a crew chief do?
Mechanic.
Make goddamn sure the plane runs.
He didn't want a pilot.
No.
No, he's not a pilot.
But did he fly with the pilot?
No, on the
No,
ground.
it's a
It's a ground
fighter.
guy.
He
No.
P-38's a fighter.
Jimmy Doolittle. You remember that movie? Of,
Yeah.
When he took off them, he's the one that engineered the mission to go into Japan off the deck of an aircraft carrier with B-25s.
Wow.
And they said they couldn't get them off the deck. The runway's too sharp.
Right.
And
And
he lightened them son of the bitches up so
Well,
light.
Billy, don't forget, he had Vito too.
Yeah, yeah.
Rockets.
Yeah, assist.
He had 4 rockets.
But-
on
and
each
Uncle
ship.
Leo was his.
That's how they pretty much ended the war.
Yeah. Well, no.
When they bombed,
Straighten out your thinking there. A B-52 carried a nuclear bomb,
on Nagasaki
and that's how the
and the
war
Japs.
ended.
But I mean, he put the hurts to him before that was.
So, Dad, let me ask you: is there one pilot, like one man,
In that.
that drove a B-52 bomb that dropped
No.
the
crew-
bomb,
No.
or was it many bombs?
What?
It was
The
one,
nuclear
no,
bomb?
It
The
There was-
nuclear bomb.
it was one bomb, but it was a tremendously heavy bomb.
Yeah,
And it was right in the middle of the bomb carrier of that plane.
but
They opened the doors
That was a.
and everything
That
was
wasn't a
bombed.
B-25. That was a
one
B-52.
pilot drove that plane and dropped that bomb.
No, there was a co-pilot.
There's
But
a-
I'm saying there was.
there was
Yeah.
5 people.
Does he know who he was,
Yes.
or did they
He's
not
dead.
know? Did
He's
they
dead.
not know who? Did they all fly over and everybody dropped bombs and nobody knew who dropped?
Oh, who
the
had the
bomb?
nuclear bomb?
Correct.
No.
They knew who.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh
Well,
yes.
it's a movie on the Enola Gay.
B-29.
I need to watch it. I don't.
The Enola
B-29.
Gay carried the.
Because a lot of times it's like being in a firing range, somebody shooting blanks. You don't know who killed
Oh
the guy.
no, they knew.
They knew.
No, they knew this was one.
They knew what plane it was
And
in.
the
they
pilot knew too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, he knew.
So he took to his grave that he knew he dropped the bomb.
Yeah. And when he went,
Which
he
so
So I agree.
he lived. He lived
She's
15, 20 years
We're coming.
after that happened.
oh, I'm sure. Yeah, he
Yeah,
probably
he-
was a young
he's
man
like
then.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's take Laverne.
I could never do it.
What would you have done different, Dad? If you
I'd have stayed in.
you always said that. You always said that.
Well, naturally, being a high-ranking officer in the Air Force, was quite an honor.
Well, certainly, it was an honor to fly those amazing jets, right?
Well, any plane, if you're fighting, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The jets were all right, but they went too fast. In most cases, by the time they got to the target, they were going so fast they couldn't stop to shoot it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they'd post beyond it, see.
Oh, okay.
And so, and if you slowed it down, a jet don't like that. A jet wants to be speeded, you know,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
because it
So the
flies
engine
better.
doesn't run efficiently when...
Well, that's right. It used more fuel. And,
Uh-huh. Mhm. Right. Well, when you, when the war ended and you knew that your career was probably over as far as flying in for the military, were they coming out with new aircraft that excited
okay.
you? And you were thinking, oh, I want to try that. Or I
I'll
wanna...
tell you, the first one that come out was the P-80,
Uh-huh.
the Shooting Star. I flew that in a jet.
And it was a new aircraft?
Brand new, and it was a trainer.
Okay.
And I had the liberty of flying that.
Uh-huh.
What an
And why was it
experience.
different than what, the P-47?
It was more, you could do more with it. In other words, you could get there
Maneuverable.
quicker.
So it was faster, of
Yeah,
course.
oh, well, 200 mile an hour faster.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did it have a lot of more instrumentation?
No,
Was it harder
no,
to fly? Was
no,
it?
no.
It was
That's-
like getting in another airplane. It
The
was just-
fatigue of flying a jet is easier than a prop.
Okay.
There's less to do
Okay.
in a jet.
So you did fly a jet.
No, I flew a jet.
Well, that's pretty. I mean, that makes you feel pretty good about yourself. for
Well, Patty, I'll tell you, I hate to say this because it sounds like I'm not, what should I say, patriotic. I enjoyed myself in the Air Force.
sure. I know you did, Dad, but you were good at what you did.
2 months after I got out, I cried.
Yeah, because you missed it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you'd have been an excellent career soldier. Yeah.
And you know,
But you didn't have the opportunity.
I had one. I was called by the hierarchy of the Air Force to return to that naval station just south of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? That Navy.
I don't know, Dad.
Well, anyway, be old enough.
You think?
And they offered me to reinstate my physical and pilot's experience if I'd join again.
Uh-huh.
You see, I was in the what the hell was it? Army Air Corps.
Right. They didn't have the Air Force then. It was
The
Army
Air Force had nothing to do with that.
Right. There was not. They weren't even
And
there yet.
I would have had to re-enlist, but I only would become a first lieutenant.
Oh, so you couldn't maintain your rank?
Well, no, because I was too young. It goes by age.
Oh, really?
And that's what at the time.
Back then, yeah.
Now I would have had to spend 3 years
As a little.
before I could get promoted.
Oh. Would you still be able to do what you were doing as far as flying and, or does your rank dictate
My
your?
my experience. It was
Okay, your
experience.
experience more dictated your
Yeah.
actions, not your.
Believe it or not, the hierarchy in the Air Force was different than in the
When did
Air
the Air
Corps.
Force insure? Was it?
1946.
Korea? Oh no, before way before Korea.
Yeah, 1945, 46.
Korea came along what 51?
in that area.
Yeah, 51, 52.
Does he want something?
No, they're.
But anyway, I would have had what they call a USA commission. I would have been, I had something like a, who's that?
Bill and Jean are back from
Oh.
taking Laverne.
I had a substitute commission
Okay.
in the Army Air Corps.
Uh-huh.
Whereas if I'd have got into the USA
Air Force.
Air Force, I would have had a regular commission.
But it wasn't until after the end of World War II that the Air Force even became such a body.
1946, I think.
Okay, and and World War II was over in 45.
Well, I know,
44,
but
right?
it
44.
only took a little while to.
Right, and they decided to branch off
Well,
from the Army.
they just
and-
cut out the Air Corps.
Now, there was something we were talking about that you said that Billy would understand, but I didn't, and I can't remember what it was.
United States Air Force
No, I had.
wasn't
He was
even
the
a
Army
thing
Air
in
Corps.
World War II.
No, it was the Army Air
It
Corps.
was Army Air Corps.
He
Yeah.
was an Army man.
Well,
They didn't have
anyway,
the Air Force back
I'm
then.
I'm still up in the air at 54,000.
Yeah,
Did
What I wanted you to
but there was something else we were talking about, and it had to do with mechanics. That he said, well, Billy understands this.
I think it was G's.
Okay.
back scratcher?
But that's what I do, Bill.
You got a back scratcher, don't you?
Not with me.
So did you punch in 1, 2, 3, 4 star? Let her in.
Yeah, we went.
Do the nurses greet you at the door?
No.
She just goes in like a house.
There's an alarm. See,
We brought her in.
there's a vestibule like a screen porch,
Yeah.
and it's got a screen door,
Uh huh.
and there's an